The name of the film is obviously based on the code name of a female spy whose identity is unknown. Can you tell us a little bit about Agent 355 and the influence that her story has had on the film?
Yes. So 355 was a secret code name for the first female spy during the American Revolution. And her real identity is unknown to this day. We just know she worked for George Washington, and she's written down as 355. But today it's used as like a moniker, a badge of honor for women who work in espionage. You know, the 355, this idea of women who work in the shadows, who in some sense have been invisible, unacknowledged for their accomplishments and what they've done. And we thought it was a great way to honor all women in espionage by using 355 as the title.
Mm-hmm. And actually, just coming on to that, there is a line in the film where you say, "They'll never know who saved us. You know, we've been erased, made invisible." We know throughout history, women's stories have often been erased. They've been written out of history. If you could go back in time and meet one woman from history, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Meet one woman in history, who would it be?
Big question.
That is a huge question. I mean, it's tough because it's someone I've played, but Catherine Weldon, I studied her for a long time. I can't, it's hard to just say like one woman from history, because I think there's so many stories that are so exciting to hear and to learn about. And, you know, and also like there's the Mercury 13, the women who were training to go during the space race. They wanted to go to the moon, and they scored actually on their tests better than the men did, the astronauts who ended up going. They would have been amazing to talk to. So yeah, there's so many incredible women throughout history that I would have loved to meet.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that. There's just so many stories that need to be told. And this one is all about the power of women actually working together and coming together. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from the women in your life?
The biggest lesson I've learned from the women, probably to take up as much space as I possibly can. I think we have been, in some sense, women in the past, up until now. I always say up until now because things are always changing, but there's a sense of conditioning to be as like small as possible, you know, to make first of all, your body as small as possible, your voice as small as possible, your accomplishments as small as possible, to take up the least amount of room that you can. And the women that I really admire are the opposite in that aspect. They take up as much space as you think would be humanly possible, and they are loud and large and, you know, enthusiastic in celebrating their accomplishments and the things that they're passionate about. And that to me is a really empowering thing to see.
What I really, really love about the film is just how it really like plays with spy film conventions.
It is interesting to think like for so long women have been perceived and shown as victims, and how incredible is it to turn the tables in that aspect, and women are the creators. They're the ones who are driving the plot forward and accomplishing things, and are the ones to contend with. I love that. I also love that the men in our film are the eye candy. You know, one of my favorite moments is we would go out to dinner a lot as a cast, and we were in Paris for Diane's birthday. I think it was her birthday. And we were at a restaurant, and all the women were eating and drinking wine, and we were all laughing. And I looked over at Sebastian and Edgar, who like had like iceberg lettuce and tea. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And I think Edgar said, well, I have a shirtless scene tomorrow. It was the first time in my career that I've seen that reversed in that way, where the men were all of a sudden very, very conscious of their physicality, and the women were like more free and relaxed. And it was very exciting to see. I mean, I think everyone should be more relaxed. Full stop. Yeah. But I did like, you know, I did like objectifying the boys in this one.